The process of understanding is very simple. The process is, as I explained last time, I explained more in detail. We are created out of the rays within the center of the universe. In interaction and reduction in strength and division by the strength in certain strength fields, in collection of the totality of the expansion of the universe, some energies, some dynamic fields have come together. Over billions of years, these fields lead to the creation of what we call the sun. Where the plasma gathers together. The same process repeats again because the sun is the same as the energy center of the universe. Now, the heavier, the larger amount of the energy which is collected in this span of the universe, called the sun, that irradiates out, does the same thing again. Radiates its fields out, and in interaction with itself, with the fields of itself, leads to creation of planet. In that process of the creation of planet, the same process happens again. In the interaction of the fields of the earth with its environment and cooling and exchange with the strength of the other things in the environment of the space of the solar system, leads to creation of man, cell, matter state. And that itself, in coming together and slowing down in certain ways, as we call, leads to another sun. We call the soul of the man. This is the truth about the life and creation of the man. But if the soul of the man can understand and absorb and be correct with his conduct, he can become the strength of the fields and carry the strength of the field of the planet which came to this creation. And if the soul can understand with the same process, can interact, can be correct, can absorb with itself the totality of the strength of what it needs, it shall become the sun. And then the same soul has the energy that it can absorb within the solar system, within the galaxy, shall become the center of the universe. Earth, we call it the rain, come from and goes back to. In the solar system, we call it planetary system. We come from the rays, we become the planet, and we go back to the mother. The same thing happens with the galaxies. with the solar systems which they get absorbed back in and they chewed up back in the universe. The life, the process of existence in the universe is the same. It doesn't matter what exchange and what extent. So, what is the man fighting for? Why do we fight for something which has come from the point of the creation, and in the process it goes back to the creation? The soul of the man as the energy of the earth gives the face of the man, the face of the earth, and that process is the same for the soul of the man. Our soul, in reduction in strength, in interaction with the emotion of the field of the environment, leads to manifestation of the existence of the man. But once it's completed, does it need the face? Or can it be and becomes free from it, what we call the soul of the man, be free and detached from its existence? Our soul is part of the process of the creation. The key to one question for man shall be in the future to be answered. As we saw the sun became the earth, and as we saw the earth became man's soul, what would be the destiny of the soul of the man now becomes free at the point of departure from physicality? Would it become the sun for creation of another life, or many lives, or correction of lives? This shall be, and this is how it happens. When you create a soul which is not correct, which is misconduct by itself cannot give, you lead to the creation of this next cycle of creation, which has started the wrong way, the wrong strength. This is one thing the man has never understood. You become the creator of another universe, another cycle. And this is what you have to judge within the structure of the soul of the man. What would I like that cycle to be? In the physical life, we create children. In the dimension of the life of the soul of the man, what that man, what that soul will create. If man has thought up to now, that's it, my end, my point, when I die is finished, there's as much fallacy that when the sun is destroyed in any shape or form, there shall be nothing left. But we know the part of the sun becomes part of the galaxy and becomes part of new life. So shall be the soul of the man. The judgment of the man has to be according to what he sees the future his soul can conduct to be. The day of judgment is for the man, not in front of the Creator. That what my soul judges to be and what shall create. Man never understood and shall never understand till can solve this dilemma within itself. The reality is very, very, very real. And that is, as we've seen, the energy of the galaxy become the sun, the energy of the sun has become the earth, and the energy of the earth has become the soul of the man. So shall be the soul of the man, which is the energy itself, another cycle of life. How can you change when you don't understand? How can you change the process of understanding if you do not understand the process of the creation? Do we need to extend the understanding of the man that what is the future he brings? We care about our children, what education they get, what they wear, how happy they'll be, where they sleep. Now the man has to be careful and consider, what life shall my soul create? Because those are the children of your soul. As we see, the rays of the sun has become a planet and 7 billion children of it. 7 billion unlimited, which is growing. So the soul of the man will go through the same process. How many billions and subdivisions and sub-matter state of the physicality of the man your soul shall create? Would it be the soul of wars and conflict and forever killing? Or would it be the soul of this, let's say, solar system, which is peaceful? This is the truth and the reality about the soul of the man. First of all, as I said many times recently, we never understood that the soul of the man is within the structure of the man. And now that we understood, we understand on departure from the physicality of the man, the same process will carry on as it did for a star, a planet. And the soul of the man becomes another energy source, a higher order, which itself leads to the creation. It becomes the star, it becomes the center of the new cycle of creation. This is what the human race has to understand. The cycle actually starts from the point of death and not finishes at the point of death. In so many ways, if one understands, is as the dusts, specks of dust came together to make the earth in the solar system, so has the specks of the atoms has come to be the creator of the man. And the essence of the creation of the specks of dust on the solar system has led to the creation of the man. So shall be the fields from the soul of the man which lead to creation of another cycle of life. What kind of life man would like to have to be created by his soul? This is the day of judgment. This is what man never understood. Now you have to understand. You have no choice. Up to today you were not aware of it. From today you are aware of it. You are responsible for it. Your conduct has to be to elevate your soul. That in elevating the soul, what you become the creator of stands correct in the conduct of the citizens. We don't give a fairy tale. This is the truth about it. As you've seen, the process does not stop with one sun. The cycle carries on. It's very interesting in how humanity now knows in fact to handle the fact. It'll take decades for man to understand, and then you understand those who become the tools of war, the tools of conflict. They have nothing to start with. They have to become the dust in the solar systems of the others till the day they learn more, as they cannot create a new cycle through their own soul. This is the elevation of the soul of the man. To be part of the creation of a beautiful life for the next cycle. When you don't have it, you have to become another cell in the body of the structure of the bigger, for you to be just there that it can done when you could have been the soul of the man. They say, do not create fear. I give you the point of love for creation. If you cared about your children on this planet to have the best, your true children come out of your own soul in the coming time. How would you like to educate them? How would you like to be when you are in conflict with yourself and the cause of so much mayhem? This is the truth. As now that we understand the soul of the man is the operator for the creation of the future extent of the life of the man, whatever is gathered by the soul at the end becomes his point of reference of his own creation, of his own dimension. But the strangest thing is, what he creates from his soul shall become the creator of the other souls. This is the beauty about the creation, and one understands it, understands no limitation.
Paweł, Przemek i Marcin. Nauczycielem jest dr Keshe. Tematem dzisiejszego spotkania jest kontynuacja, czyli tłumaczenie drugiej części kosmicznego blueprintu. Jest to prezentacja doktora Giovanniego przy całym procesie jakby leczenia swojej córki Naomi. Także bez zbędnej zwłoki zaczynamy jakby drugą część prezentacji tego warsztatu.
A scientific explanation why it's possible with the helmet set up new neurons and new axon, and nobody can say nothing about it because it's written on the book, and this book are accepted for the official science, so it's correct. How it's here there are the study of Tennant that I did it for have the best electricity possible, millivolts, because the human cells work of a certain type, certain range of electricity. So a cell that is sick have a plus voltage, millivolts. A person that was healed, healed, is minus millivolts. And so I try to have the same condition in the guns. This was for example, this is a guns of CO2 of minus 108 millivolts that I did it. That was the gas that I prepared. This I did it the gans of CO2. I used 3 liters of distillate water. This is the weight. I use this kind of salt because what you can buy usually it's industrial salt that have no oligo elements, but for make the same match of field, I need to have the same condition of the brain, and the brain have the oligo elements when the first brain was created. And so I found this one that is a salt, natural salt that was in the cave in that area of Sicily, and so it's a very old salt that have the Asian characteristic of the salt, and this is the reason I use this one. And I put caustic soda. I so give this kind of this kind of attention. I put this heater for put the temperature to 30 degrees, a fan for move the water, for give the condition, the electricity, but was connected to the clock, so I observe the tides of energy. And even the plate, I put a plate that was based on phi number. This was the volts, ampere, and I don't explain to you, but you can read it. I make a calculation of the electricity of the brain of Naomi, and I make a proportion. So I give to her, I give to the GANs exactly the same electricity that flow in the brain of Naomi. And here it's written the calculation that I did it. And this was the checking of the guns. If you look, if the guns was well done, must be the same layer of the natural brain. So the gray part, the white matter, and so on. And if you look here, you have it. If you look, there is the white part, the dark part, again the white part. There are layers. There are many layers. So, in this way, was reproduced the same field of the brain. And this I did it even for the muscle and for other things. This was how I did it, the CH3 guns. All it's written in detail. These are the picture. It was interesting that appear this kind of red balls appear like hemoglobin here. And it was very, very, was beautiful to see. This the iron was completely flat, but to the end of the appear these balls. After that, after this, there was the problem of really, I have now, the problem that Naomi is not talk, walk, and can come here to talk to you is because nobody thought that she can survive. So they did it very few times, the physiotherapy, and nothing for talk, for speech therapy, speech doctors. So we did it what was possible. But here, for example, on the right legs to the foot, she have, because don't forget that she stay like 1 hour, year and a half in the bed, a block of minerals. You can see here too. And this block, it's almost, it's also in the ligaments part. And was able to remove in very few time with the tube patch. These are the patch for dissolve the crystallization. I put one patch under the foot and the other patch that was the double in the opposite part. This is what I put it inside. This was the effect. The physiotherapist can't believe what happened in only 1 day of difference. Was my intention to put another X-ray, but my daughter take a lot of X-ray. I apologize for this, but I don't want to give her either X-ray because she did a lot of X-ray. But the physiotherapist see that really a big improving in only 1 day. And now the only problem is not the problem of the bones, but the ligament that for the period are shorter. But now we are near to solve this also. After we realize that the brain is working, the connection, the neurosystem was connecting with the brain and the muscle, the only thing that we need to do is to active the connection between the muscle and the brain. So I did this. This was a problem because she was unstable because the central nerve is not in line. The reason was because was in coma for a long time. And so need to realign the neurosystem. And Keshe gave me this advice that was very well, really. So I put her in this position, and I start to pull each toe, and here it's described all. So you can read it and apply it simple, because I have no time anymore. You can read it. And this creates a connection very fast, and start to move the right leg very well. Now she raises the right leg without problem, even with a small weight. It's unbelievable. And you need to put both of the legs. This is all the time that you need to do. You can do every time this. This is the guns of the muscle, and if you look, it's the same color of the muscle without the blood. So I consider the energy that flow in the muscle, the result was that I had the same color of the muscle. Here there is the heater, look, the fan. I changed the air, I use glass. I found that the glass is, I found better of the plastic. This was how did it the SU guns. This is video of a couple of weeks ago of Naomi. Yes, this is a video, but this is are not video that I did it for show to the people. Was the video for see how she moved, but the result was very good, you know, and I show. But there is the other video too, and these are the patch that I did it for the vocal cord. This was I put inside. This was the position, because the vocal cord are in that position, so I put exactly on the position on the right photo. This was the effect. She started to talk for the first time. And she don't talk, not because she's not able to talk, because I did an examination now, the vocal cord closed completely, she able to talk. But until the end of this month, she still have a pipe in his stomach. And so give her a lot of pain when they start to talk, and so she not able to have force to push the breath out. And after there are all this work that I did it on the bones, on the scarf, on the injuries. This is interesting work on the brain, but with the I create a loop between the I use the ray light. This is phosphene light, and so with the phosphene and this kind of mask with the guns inside, I create a loop in the brain. And after that, I do only one time for a minute. She starts to fall very deep, because the ray come back, find the guns, and after come back again on the brain. And this circle create like a light inside the brain. you can try this, and you will see that even with the closed eye, you can see a light inside. This is the guns for the neck. This is the system that for my family, because the effort was very big. I did other work with the soul, and even I used her hand for help his brain. This was the first one was for to put the bones in the condition that was completely in access, and so every night I put this panel on her. I move all the bones in the same in the way that they can soldering in correct way. This was a little headphone that I did it for recovering a small part of the brain that was not complete healed. This was the checking that I did it because, for example, when she was in the hospital, she had a lot of wire behind the head, because in the wall there was the wire of electricity, and we know that this creates magnetic field too. I don't want that this magnetic field can create a problem with my magnetic field of the helmet of the other, or for example the other device. So with this device I checked the place where the magnetic field on arrived. It was like 50 centimeters, and so there is no interaction. I did it also for radiation. This is the checking for radiation. After I make a special work for stimulate with the body, and this was done with Father Christ with the support also of another knowledge seekers, Stefania, that helped me in this for stimulate the part of the brain. I use it, I stimulate all the brain in different way. This I use olibanum, black olibanum, that is frankincense, and stimulates this area of the brain. But I did it also with the tongue. I give to her something to test, with some stimulation of the hands. So I give something that was cold or hot in the hands, and activate this area of the brain. And with the light that I told you before, I stimulated this area of visual area. The result was this. This was 1 year before, and this was after 1 year. And thanks to all, and thanks again to Sir Keshe, and I dedicate this word to Naomi, that give a big sacrifice, and to my family, and to all humanity. Thanks.
Thank you, Giovanni. Would you like to show us a few of the recordings that you have with the progress of Naomi?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Is Giovanni there?
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. We are waiting, Giovanni, for your videos.
No, hell, I have the videos. I don't have all the videos. I put the videos that I have. Hella, you can share the video?
Yes. My question is, for the sport part, would you like to show all three or just the two where she is?
What you like, what you like, what you
All the
like.
way you like. We enjoyed the life.
Yeah.
While we are looking at this, you got to understand something very important. This has never been done. We done it once 10 years ago with a case we have in Court of Belgium, and they said it's a fraud. They put all the cases up against us because of whatever. Now it's been done for the second time. But this time, the same, what you see here, Giovanni shows measuring everything. If you look at the systems we used 10 years ago, was not the same. We measure everything. There is no need for no man to die in coma. Even if half a brain is damaged and is not gone. It's shown the MRI from Naomi. There are a number of points you have to understand. The bone which is broken on the hip is not operative. They could not operate on it because it's too close to the spine. She would have been paralyzed and she would not last the operation. That's why she was left to die. Secondly, she could never stand up. Now you see the way the bone is broken, usually people die of it. If you you die of the hip fracture. The poison of the blood, of the bone into the blood kills. It's taken a lot of work for Giovanni. Every single piece you see Giovanni has made is calculated, considered, is well taught, and like a man who looks after his own child to give her life, he's done everything correct. We see Naomi back. There is no loss of memories. Even the whole brain has been touched. She still remembers. We've seen her writing the name of Fabio. We've seen her smile. She's much cheekier than before. But this is a wonderful celebration of technology. Naomi has been close to us. She was in the office with us every day, and now hopefully she'll be back in the office again. She's a pleasure to have, but this is a major, major breakthrough in the world of science. But what does this mean? In a space, we can repair everything. If you look at the case of Naomi, brain, spinal cord, bones, neurosystems, everything has been damaged, and is being managed to put back together. Every reason for survival in a space is in our hand. Naomi is a true example of a fully integrated use of the technology when it's done correctly. You saw how Giovanni calculated everything to the ground. This is what I used to do. Every single cup, every single breathing system was calculated to efficiency of maximum. Conversion of the magnetic fields to the GANs and the reverse is part of beauty of this technology. I have one request from the Keshe Foundation supporters, and that is, take this part of this video and send it to every coma hospital in the world you know, any family you know who's in coma. This is a gift from us to humanity. But remember, in a space we need to know every part of it will be damaged and put into coma because of the transitional magnetic field in our body. Our brain will change position and condition because of it. Our neurosystem will be damaged. If you look at this, if you show this to any doctor, any physician who's present, they tell you, just watch this video and I'll tell you why this is a miracle. Can you let it run, please? You see why it's a miracle? The hip is broken. The frontal bone is broken. There is nowhere any pressure that the body can hold. The whole thing should collapse down like a jelly. That's why the doctors would have never operated, because it's impossible to get somebody with such a broken fracture and such a broken frontal bones to walk. It's literally, there is no pressure to hold the body up. This is without any operation. This is the process of understanding the science of creation. And I have one request from all of you. Any of you who are watching this, we put this separately as part of Naomi's in the as I was saying, the only reason any hospital will refuse to bring a coma patient out is because they earn thousands of dollars a day from the bed they give them. But if you give it to the parents, send it to everyone, they understand how beautiful it is to give a life back. No one should stay in coma anymore with this technology. I have another request from one of you. Take this video and send it to the judge in Kortrijk. Send it to the judge in Ghent, Belgium. That may show how much fabrication has been made and how much mankind denied to give life back. If we can stand these conditions of such a damage, as we see with Naomi's body and the brain, and stand every other damage in the universe. The structure of the brain of Naomi, this is the latest, you see. She's sitting and she's playing with Papa. And logical play of games. This is amazing for a brain which has been totally smashed up. Nothing is missing. Soon she'll walk and soon she'll be talking to us. It's beautiful to see her play. She's gorgeous.
Bravo ragazzi, bravo. Piano, piano, piano. Okay.
She's got that cheeky face, doesn't she? You got to remember that we used to see this face every day.
Allora, adesso ti scrivo questa parola. Sta scritto papà. Sta scritto Angela. Angela sta scritto? Non farò scherzo. Sta scritto Harry. Sta scritto mamma. Bravo. Bravissimo. Adesso, ok.
She's going back. Thank you very much. Is there any more?
Yes, we actually have one more with the English word. Clint, if you can bring it up, please.
You see, Giovanni, you're a perfect father. And it worked. I remember when Giovanni said to me, I'm using ultrasonic to get rid of the crystal salt at the bottom of the foot of Naomi. I said, Giovanni, you work with plasma, you don't know what you gotta do. You remember, Giovanni, what I told you to do? And he said, what?
Yes.
I said, get the urine, put it in there. Crystal salt needs a crystal water salt to get out. And the best crystal salt of the body of the man is in urine. I told her just to get her urine, put it in a gas, and within months it will start dissolving. And it worked exactly perfect, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Everything we followed, her brain structure, the pain pad on her hip. Giovanni told me she's in pain. The pad on the hip, and the result was immediate. The technology is complete, and now you have a full recipe for more or less to bring every coma patient out. I want to know which court of Belgium is going to put all the parents into prison because they gave life back to the children from coma. And the interesting thing is, very, very interesting thing is that we still can bring the life of Nila back, exactly like Naomi. The only thing is the mother is greedy, wants to sell her life story to Hollywood for $1 million and made all the fabrication in the case in the court. But we see how the system works. I accept 10 coma cases around the world if any government allows me, and within 3 months I give them all back live to the government. My challenge stands. 10 coma patients, within 3 months I'll bring all 10 out and hand them over to show how correct this technology is. But we have to understand this is for a space. This is totally for a space because coma is one of the most common problems in the space for mankind. That's why I tested the coma. Because in the space when we come to the magnetic field, rapid magnetic field, which is strong enough to override the strain of the man, the switch for coma comes in, and the body goes in the coma. Now you have to, in a way, like a heart, resuscitate the brain. And this is the way it's done. You can grow the whole brain. You can take part of the brain out and regrow it. This is why, even in the case we have in court, Mr. Beck, is that he says damaged it because that's the brain, a stroke, it cannot be. And we've shown the videos how like it is. These are the cases we have to stand for. We have to understand that space technology of today is for every disease, every accident. We've shown cancer, man-made emotion. We've shown shoulders and pain on operation with the 2 doctors this morning. This is accident. And you've seen how accident can be repaired. A broken hip can never be done that. Do you know how many old people die of broken hip? Osteoporosis. With this technology, none of them need to. Within 2 months, they can walk out of the hospital with a full repair. It's been done. And now we see it. Thank you very much, Giovanni. Thank you very much for such a hard work.
Thank you.
I've spent many sleepless nights with you, with this girl. And I'm sure next Christmas you can have a dance with her. But tell her next time she'll talk so much that you can't shut her up. Says, Naomi, stop.
Yes, sure.
We both know you can't stop that girl, huh?
Yeah. I'm terrified of this.
He's terrified. Don't be terrified. I know what she's gonna get. I know what she's called Rubin, huh? She's gorgeous, yeah. We'll have her back. The minute the breathing and the voice comes back, the rest of the body will take over. This is our physical conditions. And we see her, she'll be back with us in the next maximum 6 months. And maybe next year this time, God knows what she'll be doing. It would be nice to see her to do a marathon, at least a half a marathon. Because there is no reason for the body not to go back in full. You've seen how we realign the nerve system of the foot and she can come back. We have all the knowledge in the Keshe Foundation to give life back, as long as the soul is within the body. I want to tell you something. Giovanni, do you allow me to explain what happened the last night when she was in the hospital when I came to see?
Yes, okay, sure.
You better say what happened before they moved her to the second hospital when we were all behind the window.
Yes,
Carry on.
when I was inside the room, Sir Keshe.
Yes.
Yes, was amazing, Sir Keshe. I never forget that. I was inside the resuscitation room, and Sir Keshe started to talk to Naomi because I was alone inside the resuscitation room, but Keshe was to the other part of the door with the family. Until that moment, for all the effort that we did it, we didn't was able to have a result for have any response from Naomi. But when Keshe asked to her to move the toe, the hand, the left hand, the right hand, she started to move. And but what is unbelievable that I was inside. It's like that I feel, I listen his voice like that I was in the cave. Was like a very strong, a big voice, and it's like that all the air around is shaking. It was the first time in my life that I felt something like this, and I was in the same time too much surprised to see Naomi move, because even I try with my hand to touch her to make something, she don't move. Was like a vegetal body, but only with the voice of Keshe, she was able to move immediately.
That was 30 days after the accident. The last day she was in Bari.
Yeah.
The whole
Was
family came.
yes, if I remember good, yes.
The reason she moved, I'll explain to you the first time. Up to that time, you tried everything and nothing happened. This is what I said to the other two doctors. You can reach the soul of the man. I talked to the soul of Naomi and she responded with physicality. And that's what the difference was. And that's why you felt being like in a, what do you call it, in a cave. My word was a physicality, but my soul was in touch with her soul, and I could raise the dead. And that's the time I knew she'll be alive and she'll survive. This is what Christ called resurrection. And there were 20 people watching it. I don't reach the physicality, but as Giovanni can tell you, it was like a string on the puppet. Puppet on the string, we call it in English. We could tell her to move your leg up, all the way up, move your hand, the left, the right, and it was a joyous time. You got to learn as a physician to touch the soul of your patient, not the physicality of it. But in a way, when you do the physicality, they need to see something happening. And I chose the path of the soul, and Giovanni chose the path of physicality. And it's very strange that once the physicians learn this, you do not need to have any machinery to do. You can reverse every condition in the body of the man. Naomi was exactly 30 days in that hospital, total vegetable, till I spoke to her in the word of the man. And there was the whole family coming to say goodbye to her because she was getting moved. What was the name of the hospital they moved her to? To a holy hospital. Giovanni? Are you there?
Yeah. Yes. Keshe, see.
They moved her to a new hospital in the north that night, that day, the next day.
The hospital of San Giovanni Rotondo.
And where she was sent, everybody died except one other person in that ward when she was there for months. But as Giovanni said, we brought the soul back. The soul was there. And what you saw as a physical motion, as Giovanni said, was I speak to the soul of the man, and the physicality responded. And you have to understand, I was talking through a telephone. We couldn't talk. There was a telephone, we had to talk to them through a phone. The physicians have to learn that try to go a step further and use the soul of your patient. The voice is a medium, but you can tune through your soul to their soul. And once you get the soul moving and responding, the physicality can come back. I've done this 3 or 4 times, but you have to learn to do it. It's not beyond the power of the physician who's committed to rescuing his patient. I wish we had a video we could record that day. Thank you very much, Giovanni, for such a beautiful effort. It's amazing what you've done.
Thank you to you, Sir Keshe, for what you did.
You are the best who did it.
I did it nothing.
You did follow the step by step, and you managed to get her out exactly how the helmet was supposed to be done. You kept everything exactly as I suggested. And one of the things is that when you use the first pad, I told you she's in pain, heartbeat high because of the pain. The minute we stop the pain, the whole process starts. When the bone was broken on the hip, the body turns in, it contracts. When you put the CO2 pad, high level CO2 pad, CH3, the body goes to relax, the hip comes to the position and lines up. And then from that process, the welding of the bone starts. That's how the hip came. You always have to understand there is no magic. I told you how I got her moving through her soul. Now you have to understand how the hip, broken hip, came to be literally welded to each other. In taking the pressure off or the pain off, because as it's like a paper folded, a piece of metal you fold, the stress goes across the whole grain of the steel. When the muscle bends forward because of the pain, broken hip, it cannot heal. It's impossible. So the pain stays till you die at a high pressure. Now that you put a pain pad, the body relaxes and the bone goes in its position, and then because it's in the position, it literally starts welding together. When you have a CH3 CO2 pad, the bone rapid production goes high because you need, in the normal condition, when the bone breaks, the wound brings the calcium and creates the healing. Now, with the conductivity of CH3 and what you have in the body of the man, which is the iron in the blood, you create the same kind of condition and the calcium moves in, and the healing is a matter of the first week. What takes months is done in a few days. The other point, as we said, how you have to understand the work of the body of the man. The urine is the salt. So when you have a blockage like this, all you need, 2 patches of different, you melt it. Dr. Rodriguez has done this, and other doctors in South America have done that they move pieces of material out of the center of the cancer. It's the same process. what we call everything else, the voice is back. It took us, I think the first day you made a patch, she started making noise for her voice box. She responded with the brain very rapidly. We can make any brain perfect. There is no need for anybody, either even after the brain hemorrhage, to suffer. Now you can see the beauty of the space technology. But this, as I said, is for us, for future space programs. As we go into space, there is no doctor. You can heal yourself. You can remedy yourself, not only with your thoughts, with your soul. If you strengthen your soul, you can change anything, any damage to your body. Because the body of the man is under control of the soul of the man, and not vice versa. Once the soul is established, it stays the master. Are there any questions you can ask? Then we go to the next session of the work.
Sorry, yes, I have one last video here with sound.
Can you speak up, please?
Yes, this Flint. Sorry. Just gonna play the one last video with sound here.
Naomi, listen me. Now I will speak in English and show awards in English. Okay? This mean car. This mean salt. Salt mean this. Ma dai, don't take a joke. Non scherzare, dai. What's mean this? Salt? No. This mean water. Water mean this. Acqua. Bravo. Si pronuncia water, ma il significato è acqua. It's acqua. Bravo.
He wrote water. She does it in English. She speaks both languages. Huh?
Yes,
Giovanni,
yes.
what are you going to do? Yes, carry on.
She understand English, Sukesh. Understand
Yeah,
and
you know what's your problem, Benjamin? Giovanni?
Yeah.
She's Italian. You got to teach her the sign language. You know, she's expert in all the sign languages with her hand, huh?
Yes. The language with the hand already she spoke. And she speaks with that. We talk with that.
For those of you who
And she scream with the hands.
For those of you who don't know, Naomi is an expert in speaking Italian with her hand expression. And she taught our son everything you need to know what it means in Italian.
Yeah.
One day we watched Rubin, he was shaking his hand like this. I said, what are you? I said, Naomi had told me this means this and this means that. I'm happy. Thank you very much for bringing her back. I'll wait and see when we know what we got back.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Giovanni.
Thank you, Sukesh. Thanks to you.
I gave
Thank
her
you.
the soul. You gave her the physicality. You're welcome. Any
Thank you.
question?
Yes, Azar has her hand up. I think she has a question. And we have another attendee, Carlos, who I'm not sure who Carlos is, but perhaps we can allow him to talk. Azar, do you want to go ahead, or do you have your hand up?
I don't have a question. I just want to add to what Mr. Keshe was talking about and Giovanni's presentation. Totally, I believe that the getting rid of all the diseases can be instantaneous, because it has happened to me once, and I can have the person come back. I don't have it now, but the patient had cancer, but I believe I could touch their soul, and they had a total trust in me. I mean, she had a total trust in me, and I mean, what I could say is this, right away when I did that through the soul connection, she felt the pain was gone, and it happened in my office, and then my staff noticed something in both of us was our face were light up. And then when she went for CT scan a month later to a country, there was no sign of cancer. So this was just instantaneous. I mean, I didn't have ganses, I didn't have a machine, not cold, nothing, absolutely nothing. And it just was the total connection of two souls, and my trust that I could do it. I mean, not I could do it, I could connect, and this whole acceptance of it was, I mean, for me, was a shock in the beginning, but as I learned from Mr. Keshe, it's just a trust and belief and the patient acceptance, and if it's the time to do it. And it was, I can have the person come back later and talk about her story. And now she has a beautiful 5-year-old son, and she is cancer-free.
Thank you very much. What's the other question?
No to mamy już koniec tłumaczenia. Jakieś rozwinięcia ktoś chciałby dodać od siebie? No jeśli nie ma już tutaj żadnych pytań, także chciałem podziękować wszystkim za tłumaczenie wykładu. Także dziękuję. To było 150. spotkanie publicznych warsztatów poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Także dziękuję wszystkim za uwagę i do usłyszenia.